Now realize we got to pay the trust back, which is like a circle, which turns around and pays you anyways at 8%, right? So
Yeah.
it's kind of like borrowing from yourself, but you're not borrowing from yourself, because if you were borrowing from yourself, it'd be taxable, Hunter. So we got to follow the guidelines and the rules. So it's literally a JV, joint partnership LLC.
So in my situation, selling the interest in the startup, which I'll probably likely do for both of them at some point, I would likely want to then take those proceeds and invest them in either both assets that I own directly, like securities or syndications in which I'm a GP owner,
Right.
or passive syndications.
Yes.
And both of those are appropriate so far.
Absolutely. As long
Okay.
as it fits your risk tolerance questionnaire. So let's talk about the mathematical aspect of this. Before the funds go anywhere, Hunter, you would fill out a risk tolerance questionnaire. This is no wrong answers. This is a 2-page questionnaire. What's your level of risk tolerance? What's your level of experience with different investments? What are your income needs? Well, how soon could you need or want all the money? All of those things. Now that a score is determined based upon how you answer mathematically, and then an interest rate is assigned. Okay.
Okay.
Typically about 8% compounding net of all recurring fees over a 10-year period of time. That's where most of our clients hit. And at this point, you can be completely passive and just say, hey, someone else go do this for me, whether that be another commercial real estate operator, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, right? But in your scenario, you're like, no, I like to be active and make a lot of wealth, and I know how to do that. That's why I do what I do, right? Up to 80%. So on the 5 million, about 4 million the next day could go into an LLC and could invest alongside of you into your fund, your real estate fund, or your next real estate deal, right?
Okay.
As just an interest, an LP with you in that deal, right? As a silent investor. And this is the way we structure this. So, you, Hunter, form an LLC, which you're the managing member of, and you're looking for a partner. You're looking around and you find this trust over here that 4 million silently goes into that. And this LLC structured is 80-20 to set up, 80% to Hunter. Even though Hunter puts up a 0 down payment, the trust puts up 100% of the down payment,
Okay.
4 million, in exchange for 20% interest and an 8% pref. Okay. Now realize we got to pay the trust back, which is like a circle, which turns around and pays you anyways at 8%, right? So it's kind of like borrowing from yourself, but you're not borrowing from yourself, because if you were borrowing from yourself, it'd be taxable, Hunter. So we got to follow the guidelines and the rules. So it's literally a JV, joint partnership LLC. Now, once it's there in that LLC, can you put it into your fund? Yes. Can you put it into your own other deals? Yeah, just like you would on any other deal, right? You have LLCs that invest into your fund, or LLCs that invest into your syndications, right? So that's how that works. No, so why 80-20? Well, we need some liquidity. Okay, so what does the other million go? Well, the other million needs to stay liquid. Where's that? It's the biggest companies in the world, S&P 500.
Okay.
You have to improve those investments. Those are managed by a third-party financial advisor. He's my business partner, co-founder, who started this all. Okay, he would manage the funds there, again, based upon your risk tolerance, based upon your approval. Okay, so we're all working as a team here, and we're trying to diversify. Now, do we want to put all 80% into something that's really, really highly risky? Maybe, maybe not, right? Depending on your risk tolerance. But we might put 30% in a very, very high risk stuff, and another 20% in stuff that's bread and butter for what you've always done. So we're gonna massage and look at that and come to an assessment based upon your risk tolerance. So it's not unilateral control, but it's dual control, meaning you have to approve the investments. But if the risk tolerance is off and it's too risky for the trust, as the trustee, by the way, that's my role. We got to say, well, Hunter, remember your risk tolerance questionnaire. So we got to have some checks and balances here. That's important to understand. Whereas if you're a complete owner of all this, right, you don't have to answer to anybody. In this scenario, you do have to answer to the trust documents and the promissory note and the risk tolerance questionnaire.
Which to a large degree you create. I don't mean you. I mean the person that's involved in this transaction. The person, me in this case, I would
design
create
it with you, exactly, alongside of you, exactly.
Okay.